Diego State, they've got a big matchup upcoming this weekend. Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday, big CBS game against UCLA. UCLA, they won their first matchup against Coastal Carolina in week 1. Obviously, San Diego State, they played 2 games. They beat Ohio. They beat Idaho State. There's been some things where it's like, okay, that area needs to improve. They've got to get the passing game going. Jalen Maiden, there's been some bright spots, though, there with Jalen Maiden. First week 0 for them with the passes to Mark Redmond. And then last week, using his legs, like there's positives there. But there's also some things where Aztecs fans are going to be worrying a little bit because the amount of points that were scored last week from Idaho State probably wanted the defense to show up a little bit more. And you obviously have UCLA coming in, and that's obviously a bigger name school, Power 5 conference, and you're like, okay, they're going to have to play a lot better if they're going to want to beat UCLA. And maybe San Diego State was saving some things for UCLA this week because they thought, yeah, we'll beat Idaho State, we'll beat Ohio, and they ended up beating them. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be an interesting matchup, and I don't think this is a must-win game for San Diego State because are their eyes set on going to the college football playoff? No, like even if they were undefeated this year, they probably wouldn't go, right? Are their eyes set on a New Year's bowl game? Okay, maybe, but if they go undefeated, like that's probably the only way that happens. And I think what their eyes should be set on is trying to get better going into that Mountain West schedule and then going and winning the Mountain West, right? And so this UCLA game, like if they lose close, I don't think that's the end of the world. And I think we could find some positives from that. And then they move on, Oregon State and Air Force and Boise State. If they can win those couple games there against those Mountain West opponents there, I think we're going to start feeling better because you'll look at the overall record and be like, oh, that's a good start to the season. And then you also have the backup of, well, they beat these top teams, these competitive, tough matchups in the Mountain West. So you would think that they're only going to get more comfortable in the system with the players that they have on the roster, and they'll only continue to build. So I think the next games after UCLA are probably going to be more important. But it seems like Snapdragon Stadium is going to be pretty full. We'll see about that. I know UCLA sold all of or they gave away or whatever it is, all of their allotted like 2,500 seats. And Snapdragon's probably going to have at least 30,000 fans there, which will probably be I think it's going to be the biggest attendance since the Arizona opener. The opening of the stadium, which obviously the weather was terrible for that. So we'll see we'll see if it looks empty. We'll see if it looks packed on TV. I'm interested to see that. But I think a lot of the talk needs to be on the team, not on attendance and, they need to fix the attendance issues at San Diego State and all that. Like, okay, we can talk about that, but let's have more of the focus be on the team. I feel like more of the focus is on things that are not on the team. I think the focus should mainly always be on the team, not on, Snapdragon Stadium and, the attendance. That's my thought on that.